Welcome, everyone, to Andromeda 7, your celestial gateway. And you know it's Friday night, and it's time to feed your mind and grow your heart. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We missed you. Hope you all had a wonderful week, and you're ready for a good show. Got Theresa with us tonight, Jasmine and Nick, Fire and Water, and of course, Brian. Grandpa Brian, good for you to join us. Thank you so much. Let me click some buttons here and get things. There we go, going. All righty then. Seeing everybody popping in chat. Good to see you all. Hey, if you haven't chatted or gone to the chat, try it tonight. Make a comment. We'd love to hear your comments, your thoughts and opinions. That would be wonderful. All righty then. Well, let's kind of get into this. So tonight we're continuing that 10-part series, The Human Curriculum. Okay. And this is episode 4, The Gateway to Cosmic Revelation. I hope you all watched the trailer because I put that out early in the week, about a day or two before we go live, just to give you an idea of what we're going to be talking about, what we're going over. So it's always good to check out the trailer. So here's a quote. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, in order to avoid facing their own soul. Carl Jung. I thought that was interesting. Awakening isn't a lightning bolt. It's a quiet click. It's a shift in awareness. And it's from one state to another. So our consciousness is awareness, and it's essential to recognizing our current state of being. All moments are opportunities to reflect, create, design your future outcome. And in an ascension process, it is essential for us to understand there are many different dimensions of being. So, we've all heard about the 3D, what's the 3D, 4D, 6D, 5D. And when I was going through my ascension process, it was confusing to me. So I thought tonight it would be really important to kind of go over that. So it's the universe's way of creating, you could call it spiritual currency, and a way to redeem those earned credits, whether it's positively or negatively, until you ascend to the next dimension. In simpler terms, each dimension creates its own experience. And that's what's kind of exciting about this tonight. So let's break it down, what those dimensions are and why they are so important to our spiritual evolution. Sound good, everybody? Let's get into that. But first, let's go ahead and say hello to people in chat. Let's see who's popping in. Johan, how are you? I'll never forget that, and I won't stop saying it. I don't care. Morgan Snow, good to see you as well. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you all. Elizabeth Bauer, good to see you as well. Hope things are going good for you. Always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for coming in. Lucky Stone, always a pleasure. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate the love and support. I've been loving your channel. So you had Grandpa Brian on last week and Trina. That was a good show. Enjoyed that very much. So love it, love it, love it. Keep it up. And that's pretty much it for the moment. Well, it's good to have everybody with us. So Theresa, how you doing this week? Everything good for you? You're getting settled into your new place. It sure looks cozy there. Loving your new spot. You're muted, unfortunately. Try unmuting.
Sorry about that. I always forget.
It's all good.
But yeah, I'm enjoying every minute of it. I changed the angle of the camera so you could see how cozy my
it's nice. I like it.
This is my fun room.
Your family room.
Huge living room that I haven't furnished yet, except for the dining room table. That's nice. I got the bedroom all set up and the kitchen, and it's really settling in.
Place. Things are going well.
Had a lady in the neighborhood drop in the other day, and she was really nice. Her name is Karen. She's like-minded, spiritual person, very friendly, very nice and warm. I hope she's watching.
Okay. Yeah. Me too.
Want to get the connection to the program, and her name is Karen. Welcome, Karen, if you're listening.
Awesome.
Good time spent with you the other night. And I've gotten to know a couple of the neighbors. I chit chat with them, but it's been so cold during the mornings and in the evenings. There's not a whole lot of people wandering around right now. But today it gets like 47 to 52, sometimes 53 and sunny. So luckily I got out of Maryland before.
It's a far cry from what the East Coast is dealing with, right? It's 50 degrees now here in Reno and Sparks. So yeah.
Very mild winter. We had one dusting of snow over 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago?
Yep.
Overnight and it melted, So,
yep.
Yeah.
Brian, how are you tonight?
Warm.
Okay.
Are you good?
It's been cold out this week. I think Wednesday morning, our actual morning temperature was -10.
Ooh, no. Oh, I feel for you guys. I saw like some of the ice storm things that are going on and trees bursting and all kinds of stuff. Man, I feel so much for those people in those areas. That's got to be just pure hell to deal with.
And the top,
Minecraft.
Minecraft, yes.
I didn't go leave the cabin till Monday. We got actually 16 inches of snow down here at the cabin.
Oh, wow.
5 more inches. Yep. A lot of snow.
Wow.
And it's going to be around for a while because it's reflecting the sunlight. So basically you're only getting 10% heat. So snow's going to be around for a while because we're going to be cold for a while.
Yeah. And then also when it all melts, that's always kind of an issue as well. Wow.
Nah, I really think the exploding tree thing's a conspiracy because it was in 2019, it was like colder than Mars. We were like -46. They never talked about trees exploding. This is my first time ever hearing about it.
But you haven't witnessed one? You haven't seen them? Because I've seen some video on it.
I've seen video.
It's quite extraordinary. Yeah,
Okay.
and it's
so
a real thing.
Concept.
No,
it's not a new
it's
world
for
update.
real.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently what happens is I guess the
sap.
the liquids in the tree, it expands and just explodes. It can't go anywhere but out, and it just explodes. It's incredible. It really is fascinating. You guys have a good week. Are you staying warm as well? Jasmine and Nick, thanks for joining us tonight.
Got a snow day on Monday.
Ooh, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
And now I had to go to work. So.
Okay.
I took a 4-day weekend.
Oh, okay. Right on. Yeah.
So I can
take
do
it
that.
while you can. Yeah, because you can do that now, right? Yeah. You're kind of your own boss.
Yeah. I thought it would be wise to wait for some of the roads to get clear.
Yeah, you don't need any issues.
And like Wednesday, I saw some crazy stuff, so I was right about that.
I bet.
Like, how did the car get there?
Like those type of accidents. Like how could that even physically happen? That was kind of stuff I was seeing.
Remember, Nick, anything is possible. Anything is possible. Yeah. Well, tonight, you guys were talking about this gateway to cosmic revelation. And I was kind of watching a show last week, and they were talking a little bit about dimensions and things like that. But I always got confused when I was going through my ascension process. What is 3D? What is 4D? What is 5D? And it's really a vibration. It's a state of consciousness. It's kind of like where you're at in your experience of life. So I want to share. Let me go ahead and share screen here. Let me take this off, and I'm going to pull this up. All right. So this is a breakdown of what dimensions are reality. Okay. Dimensions are often defined as a state of consciousness rather than a physical location. So it's, each level represents a higher vibrational frequency and a shift in how you perceive reality. So all of us come into the 3D, which is the physical or physicality and ego. It's the material realm where most humans operate. And that's what we're doing here on Earth, being in a physical body, experiencing, I got to get up, go to work. I got to eat food. All those things that are linear in time. And it's a strong sense of separation from others. So we're here in the 3D, to become an individual, because in the etheric realms and when we go home, we're part of everything. We're just completely expanded into a spirit realm where we're all in just universal connectedness. So the Earth School is a place to come and actually physically learn about being independent. And that's what this is all about. And so that's where a lot of that, that feeling of separation, and I'm not part of something else, or someone has passed away in my life and I'm not connected to them anymore. When you really, truly, the truth of the matter is you're more connected than you were in life. You're just missing the physical part of that person. And they're actually working on your behalf on the other side, ensuring that you are following your life's purpose and your plan. So identity is tied to the physical body and external achievements. So that is what 3D physicality and ego is. You are pure ego. It is all about the ego. Jasmine, you got a question?
I just wanted to make a comment about, since we're going to go here because it's not going to relate to anything else on your thing, but on this 3D aspect, that's where you get self-defense. Your ego is also what defends you, because once you start going into the other realms, you start realizing like, oh, if I die, it's not a big deal. I can always be like, come back differently. But here in this world, since we have where you say good versus bad, because we have the duality of both in this realm, and only in this realm do we have both.
Yes.
It's that aspect, your ego, that's more darker, because ego is what gives you your individuality, right? It's what polarity. Right?
It's negative and positive.
Exactly. So that negative side, or that dark side, or your ego is what physically protects you on this realm. It's what makes you want to survive and live.
The fight or flight. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And you guys feel free to chime in on this, because it's really, each of these points are just open for discussion. Let me see what's going on here. Okay.
Just the ego, Laurie, help anchor. It not only helps anchor you here, but without the ego, would you really learn your true purpose for being here, which is to be loved and learn how to love, right?
Well, yes, that's true. But technically, the whole reason for being on Earth, first of all, it is a master class, a master school, but you're here to learn, yes, the physicality and the ego aspect of things, duality and purpose, but your purpose is to discover and remember who you truly are. And so that's why we're here. And that is to also learn how to love yourself and have unconditional love for yourself and others.
Right.
And it's very difficult when you're working on the 3D aspect as opposed to the 4D or the 5D. But that is the purpose of a human experience, and why you're here is to remember who you are, but you have to know what you're not before you know what you are. And that's how this kind of works. So getting into the 4D, the bridge of awakening. Now, this is oftentimes, this 4D is when people, let's see, let me get him in here. There we go. All right. You threw me on that. And Nick, I can hear your background. If you could lower so we don't have the echo. Perfect. Oop. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so when you get into the bridge and awakening, so the thing that shifted me from 3D to 4D was the fact that I was able to communicate with spirit. That's what really blew my mind. That was that subtle bridge to that kind of awakening. It was taking me out of the 3D and stepping into the 4D, knowing that there's more to life. There's more than the physical realm. It is all about the transitional state called the astral plane. And that's where spirit is existing. So here you begin to question reality, and you realize thought shape experience. It's characterized by heightened intuition and a breakdown of the old patterns through ego, fear, and still it fluctuates. This is interesting because as I was learning more about spirit and what my purpose was, and I was asking all these questions, and I was just really hungry for the information. That's what was so interesting about an ascension process, because you hear the word ascension, it's like you don't really understand what that means. How do I ascend? How do I become more than I am? Well, it's these types of steps, and you can see which one you're in. Are you experiencing life from the 3D? Or are you in the 4D? Are you bridging that awakening gap? Are you starting to realize that there's more than just the physical concepts of life? It really gets into that bridge of awakening. And that's what ascension really is. Then you start to understand, once you've kind of mastered these two levels and you understand what's happening in these, you move into that 5D unity consciousness. Now, this part is really interesting because you start to learn that a state of unconditional love and oneness in the 5D, this is the illusion of separation, it dissolves. And time is perceived as eternal. You're always in the now. So on the clock, it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It really should say, it's now. 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 And that's when you start to understand about pure consciousness and how that all works. So manifestation is often described as near instant because resistance from the ego is minimal. Now you start to realize when you're in the 5D that you are responsible for the thoughts you think, the words you use, how you treat others. You really understand that unity, community, and the consciousness. And so each one of these is more of a vibration than it is a dimension. So you're literally experiencing each level of dimension. Okay. So the next step would be that spiritual realm super consciousness. So 6D is moving beyond individual lessons into collective wisdom. Okay, this is when you understand that your soul is part of a higher consciousness that is so expansive, it's connected to everything. And that's hard for the individual 3D mind to kind of grasp and hold on to. How can that be when you're coming from it from the 3D experience? It's once you understand that the spirit realm does exist and it's more real than this is. This is the dream state. And spirit often says that to me. Life, living in a body, is really more of a dream state than it is when you pass on. And I've had conversations with my father in the afterlife. He said, I'm more alive now and more perfect and whole and complete than I ever was as a human being. And that to me was very mind-blowing. Just to know that. So moving beyond individual lessons, and you're into the collective wisdom, beings in 6D are often seen as architects who understand the underlying geometry and laws of the universe. Nick, just as you get into the law of one and all of that, and we've talked about the Rosicrucians and all of that's that understanding that you're more than the physical body. So you exist in that 6D vibration. Or dimension, you can call it, but it really is, to me, it's more of a vibration. Where do you resonate? Where do you sit in that? It is associated with the balance of love and wisdom. So when you know that you are pure, positive love and light, that is who you truly are in the etheric realm, but also in your human body, even in the 3D, even in the 4D, even in the 5D, you are pure love and light. You simply have forgotten who you are. And once you learn how to follow the steps of ascension, be aware of what your words and actions are doing, how you treat others, how they treat you, what you'll accept, boundaries, all that stuff that you learn, self-love, self-worth is really, really super important, because if you don't have those skills, it's going to be very difficult to get to 5, 6, or 7D. Okay. Go ahead, Theresa.
I think for me, and we've talked about this and we'll go back to it, but we're shifting in and out of these different dimensions as we're growing. We're not really tied to any one in particular. We start accruing the information and the knowledge and flipping in back and forth in the vibratory fields of these dimensions as we learn and grow. But for me personally, a lot of the things that I was starting to experience all happened within my full realization of 6D. So astro traveling, remote viewing, psychic abilities,
channeling,
channeling,
psychic abilities. Yes. All the
these-
woo-woo, all the woo-woo stuff. Yep, that's real.
Yeah, and you start having more of these past life memories. You might even have vivid dreaming, lucid dreaming, because these are the tools I think that we get to help us wake up and remember the impact of what it is to have your consciousness shifted from just survival mode, or the beginnings of the awakening, to a full-blown realization of how things work, that underlying geometry, understanding numerology and astrology, understanding symbology,
asking those questions,
asking the questions,
really
doing
about
the research, right?
and diving
deep dives on your past experiences to sort of highlight where you've been and where you are now. Not to live in it, but to understand how your soul evolves. Not just your human, but your soul. And so CD is like one of the most important levels of consciousness to achieve, and the most difficult to hold on to too, because sometimes people get it in spurts, little bits here and there, or they don't know, or it confuses them, or blows their mind, or they're afraid of it, or but once you embrace it and start accepting that you have these gifts and abilities, you've always had them, they've always been a part of you. You can start living a more full life. Go ahead.
Yes, if that's your path and if that's what you're here to do. Some people are just here to be in the 3D, and then they pass and they move on, and then they understand there's more to it. Then they're going to create a new lifetime. Then that comes into the reincarnation, or the consecutive lifetimes. But you don't have to pass to reach these planes of awareness.
No,
that's the trick with ascension, or not so much the trick, but that's the goal of ascension, is to understand this before you go, because it's really important that your beliefs before you pass is exactly what you're going to experience in the higher realms. So you got to really think about that, and prepare yourself. So if you're here watching this channel, you're hungry for this information. You want to know more, and that's kind of our purpose, and that's what we're doing. So when you get in, go ahead, Nick. Yeah, go ahead.
So I have a theory.
Okay.
So I feel like the masses get manipulated to think they start out at 3D to keep them down. And let me explain why I think this is. Okay, so a 3D object has what? Diameter, width,
height, width.
Yeah, height, width, and like depth to it.
Linear.
Yeah.
Depth.
A 4D object is really just a 3D outer vessel that can hold more 3D objects inside it. So disregarding the whole metaphysical part of life, our bodies are literally 4D in that regards, where it's a 3D object that is housing other 3D objects within itself, bones, other organs, stuff like that. So in my opinion, we don't start out at 3D at this stage. We're already 4D by default. And really, what we're aiming for at the bare minimum is 5D. But with, like you mentioned, with the Rosicrucians, they hint at the fact that this level of being, the human, can actually tap into the 60 and the 70. And that's where you get like Jesus.
Yeah,
other prophets and
the Christ consciousness.
Where they get the true enlightenment, and then they can start bending the rules a bit more so than what 4D brings to the table.
Yeah, well, it's a level of awareness that you realize there's more than the vertical and the horizontal. Yeah, you realize there's more than up, down, left, right, width, depth, height, length. There's something else beyond that, which is another layer, if you will, or another geometric shape. And so you start pulsating and vibrating in that space as opposed to a confined cube.
Yeah, and once you hit that threshold, you, in this reality anyways, you can start doing whatever you want. Like most people, if they're only knowledgeable in like one belief system or culture, they'll say like, oh, Jesus has only came back once or sometimes twice, depending, because some iterations say Mary conceived Jesus with Gabriel, while other iterations say that he was just born through Mary, a virgin birth. So that's two different Jesuses right there.
Mm-hmm.
But then you start going into other cultures, like one of the Egyptian ones, for example. The Egyptian one being, who is it? I think it was Horus. I think Horus's backstory was similar to Jesus's.
Yeah.
Or then you get another iteration of like from Greek, which is Mithras. Mithras has the same backstory as Jesus. So are all these cultures talking about the same person that happened at the same time? Or are they talking about different bodies of the same being that kept coming back?
Yeah.
So,
or different levels and perceptions of awareness.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So,
and
so
it's all about your perception. Yeah.
Yeah. If that's the case, then that means Jesus, that entity that we knew at that time as Jesus, has came back at least 12 times.
Right.
And that's
so this
only
is
from recordings that we have throughout our current history. Probably way more times than that. So it's just something to think about.
Yeah, definitely. But Johan just made a comment, and I really want to address this because this is really important, and it's in line with what you're talking about. She says, I think we started out in the highest vibration, but we become a lower vibration due to our environment and starting from conception. You're absolutely spot on with this. And let me tell you why. When you're a spirit and you come into the body, you're taking an expansive part of yourself, the highest aspect of yourself, and you're compressing it and bringing it in and jamming it into this little body. And when you jam that spirit into the body, that's where the veil of forgetfulness comes, because you can't hold that energy. You cannot hold the higher realms, all expansive energy. And that's what the body does. And the way it works is when you come in as, you know, and it sounds funny, but you come in as the mineral kingdom, you come in as the plant kingdom. That's your way of kind of dipping your spiritual toe into the water and tasting what it's like to be human. And then you graduate after all that into the animal kingdom, and then you work your way into the human kingdom, because you, as that expansive being, have to put yourself in this small, tiny little body, and then you have to basically forget who you are. And then with the whole purpose of trying to remember who you are and holding that kind of energy in your consciousness in the body. And that's where it becomes extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I feel like we did it to ourselves to build the character. You know what I mean? Because what she's saying is completely correct. I remember starting out in 7D and then speaking to Source and being like,
right,
well, I'm kind of bored. Like I need more. I you know, it's kind of like when you have it all. Like what kind of present do you give to someone who has it all? Like there's no more like excitement.
You need that stimulation. You want to know yourself from every possible angle possible.
Right.
And remember, we're infinite beings, so we're doing this constantly over and over and over. And you have to find every single way. You have to be everything to kind of get to that point. But you asked, to what end? That was my question with my guide. Yeah, this is all great and everything, but to what end? Well, Laurie, there is no end.
Yeah.
There is no end. It's a cycle. And if you think about it, if you think about this, and this is why I like aspects of the anthroposophy, you know, the model used for that, and
theosophical.
It's yes, because you come in at the highest level possible, and you're on a descending path. You descend into the matter, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and then you work and because of the amnesia, because of the veil, you're working your way back up through the ascension process until you reach back up to who you truly are, and that realization, and then you decide, well, I want to do that again. And some people go, are you out of your mind? Why would you even think? Yeah.
something different. Maybe you want to go to a different planet or a different dimension.
Right.
As far, maybe you want to be alien. Maybe you want to go to the Palladian.
Right.
Maybe you want to be Arcturian. Maybe you want to experience every
Right.
aspect. That's
Right.
why it's so incredibly fruitful, and it just adds so much to the soul, because you're ever expanding, you're always, but to what end? And that's kind of what I wanted to get to, and that's where the 7D comes into. That's the pure being soul body, and it's often described as the highest level of ascension accessible to a soul while still maintaining a connection to a form. So 7D represents source, or the God consciousness, where existence is pure, wakeful presence, and the individual ego has been completely integrated or surrendered. And at that point, when you reach that point, then you're assimilated back into the God source and the all that is. And then typically those types of beings can become like the angelic system. They'll come in and they have grown so much that they want to serve and they want to help others. And so, but there's so many things you can do. There are jobs to do in the afterlife. You go, you work, you do your thing. You're helping others. Maybe you're accepting those souls that are coming in. They're confused. Maybe you're sitting down with someone, helping them map out their future life, what they want to, what they'd like to learn about in that life, what they didn't figure out in the last life. There's so much going on. And then, of course, you have access to so much information. It's infinite. And you have the Akashic records where you can go in and actually learn about your past lives. You have an understanding of who you were, who you want to be, what you've been. It's really an amalgamation of experiences. And it's quite a trip, because when you start getting into this kind of stuff, the more you know, the more you don't know. And it's just fascinating. And I get the biggest kick out of this, because every time I level up or I learn something new, it changes my perspective. It changes my life. It changes how I deal with people, how I see people. I see the ones that are still in the lack, that things are happening to them, not for them. And, you know, we're all being taught by life. Life is our teacher. And so when you really start to understand this kind of stuff, you see from a different set of lenses. You're not so, this is black, that is white, you're doing this, you're doing that. This is right, this is wrong. It doesn't really work that way. You just see it for what it is. That person is just being very negative.
Yeah.
Or that person doesn't understand who they truly are. And that's okay. It doesn't make me better than anybody else. It just means I have a higher understanding of what's happening.
Well, you can recognize by their language patterns that people use, how they talk about these things to one another. People who come in with the approach, it's my way of thinking, or the highway, or I've learned this, and this is my truth, and this is my understanding, and this is what's real. Because everybody has a different perception.
Right.
But you'll know and recognize someone who's operating in 6 and 7 vibration fields. I'm with Lucky. I feel the same way. As opposed to dimensions, I like to talk about energy, vibration. What you can tell when someone is vibrating in 6 and 7, because they don't come in with that approach.
Right.
That your way of thinking about things is all twisted, or you're feeding into old patterns, and they're judging you. And someone like me, I'll take a little bit of Buddhism, I'll take a little bit of Taoism, I'll take a little bit of Christianity. I cherry pick the things that resonate within me, that get my spirit connected and my soul aware and awakened. And it's no one thing or any one belief system. And so we all say, what, Jess?
It's called eclectic.
Yeah. It's eclectic knowledge base, basically. And so you can tell how a person's vibrating and where they not so that you can judge them, but so that you can reflect that back to yourself and say, where am I? How am I coming across to others? How is my communication of perception helping others be stronger and grow and feel more loved and appreciated and supported in their awakening? That's not just about me and what I think and feel, but I want to know how I'm coming, not because I want to know what I want everybody to like me. It's because I want to be of value to others.
Right. And you want to show that love. You want to be love.
Right.
You want to be positivity, because that's really,
right.
truthfully, that's who you are at your core level.
Right.
And if you're choosing not to be that way, then you're choosing to be in the 3D. And that's okay. That serves its purpose. Yeah.
Right.
It serves its, but you know, everybody is on their own path. They're walking their own path. And, you know, that's their path. You have to respect it. As much as sometimes we want to help others, you know, learn and grow, you have to come to a forum like this. You have to be a like-minded person to get into this stuff. And if you're not, respect that with people. And that's okay. What do you think, Grandpa Brian? You've been quietly listening. What are your thoughts, feelings, and opinions about this?
Well, all of it's inside of you. It's just what I call enfolding, going inside. Once you go inside, you can see you can achieve all of them. The one thing is, as long as we're in a physical body, we're going to be attached to the 3D world, because, you know, we need to make money for food. You know, we have to have a house over our head. We have to have a car. So no matter what, no matter how high you raise your consciousness, that you're still going to be a part of the 3D world.
Right.
I mean, you know,
but you can vibrate from a different level. Yes, you can do your 3D things. You can do all those things and more. You're limiting yourself by thinking that it just has to be 3D. And you just got to know that there's so much more to it than just that.
Correct. And it is about raising your vibration higher. You know, even when I'm at work, I always try to keep my vibration, even though, you know, I have to be physical at work, I still keep my consciousness and vibration at higher than that 3D, even though I'm having to work in the 3D. You know, I'm always joking around with the guys at work, always trying to share my knowledge with those who really want to listen to the knowledge that I'm trying to share. I know a lot of times I try to live in that 5D consciousness. And just, you know, it's just about.
It's really an individual thing when you're living in those different vibrations, because most people do not resonate with this. They do not get it, and they don't want to get it. And so it's difficult, because sometimes you feel like you've got one foot in the etheric realm and you've got another foot in the 3D, right, Brian? Because you're aware and you understand that though that realm exists, and that you're more than just, you know, Brian on top of a roof, you know, working with other guys.
Exactly. I'm a spirit here experiencing to be what it's like to be human. And, you know, I try to live my life in that 5D all the time, just by recognizing people that I wouldn't normally, you know, associate with or talk to when I was younger. But now that I've gotten older, I realize that everybody I see, everybody that I interact with, is actually just another aspect of me.
Right. Yep.
And I try to treat them with the love and kindness that I would treat myself with. And that's how over the past few years, I started viewing the world.
Do unto others as, I mean, That's where the positivity comes in. That's why being positive, being a loving, kind person, but not being someone that gets walked all over, or you don't have boundaries or things like that. You really have to be clear-minded, understand where you're at, where you're vibrating, and that others are on different paths. You just you make the adjustment, like you just said, Grandpa Brian, in your own words. You're making the adjustment, and that's really all you can do when you're going through these types of processes.
Even when I get frustrated with somebody, I try to get rid of that frustration as quickly as I can and start sending out positive energy.
Mm-hmm.
Just the fact to diffuse the situation.
Mm-hmm. And then you're asking yourself too, how is this serving me? If I'm going to be angry and upset, how does that really serve me? And it doesn't really serve you in any way other than it reinforces the 3D vibration.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just fascinating stuff. What do you think, Nick?
I'm going to have to hard agree with Brian.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% agree with the fact that it is important to strive to learn this metaphysical stuff so you can start obtaining the higher dimensions, but at the same time you have to be realistic as well. And I feel like the fact that you do have to navigate the 3D realm, and in order to navigate the 3D realm, you have to be grounded. You have to be here. You can't all be up in the clouds every waking moment. I feel like a lot of practitioners, they go, oh, no. I need to be up there. I need to be up there 24/7.
It's balance.
Or I'm not doing my mission, or I'm not doing enough, or like
you're too deep into that 4D, 5D, 6D, too deep into that.
Yeah.
But yes, you have to find the balance. You absolutely must find balance.
Yeah, because part of your mission here is to actually make a difference. You can't make a difference if you can't use your hands on the physical aspect of things. That's just how it is. You can't build anything. You can't organize anything. You can't even communicate clearly. That's why you see some of these people out here talking. They just sound like a bunch of gibberish because they're up there. They don't know how to translate it to where it's, where they can communicate it well enough to give the message. You don't want to fry your brain like that. That is the exact opposite. That is one of the catch-22s of all this. Like, that is one of the ways they trap you into not doing your mission. Because if you can't share it with everyone, then you're not sharing your gift. It's being isolated. So I feel very important. I will always drill that into anyone's head, especially the people I work with. I expect everyone who I work with to understand this fundamental. And if they don't, I walk away from them. I've done it plenty of times. I've done it.
The visual to remember is like the tree of life, or the Rajasil tree. So the higher your branches go up into connecting to the higher realms, or the higher vibrations, or the higher frequencies, the deeper your root should keep you anchored. Because you're supposed to be, your body is supposed to be that bridge between the metaphysical and the physical. And that way you can actually translate what everything's going on into actual speech, and not just speak light language to people that don't understand light language, or, these kind of things. So I like keeping that visual in my head when I do connect. As high as I'm going, I have to make sure I keep my roots still down here.
Yeah. And that's true mastery, being able to flip between back and forth.
Right.
Not just be stuck on one or the other.
Exactly. And not being judgmental either. Gazakov is saying, 3D world, 3D reaction. I'm sorry. Sometimes when people piss me off, I've got to let them know how pissed for I am, and give them what they deserve. I know sometimes I got to be more peaceful, but fuck it.
Well, it's kind of like what I was discussing in the beginning, right? Ego, because we live in this world where we have duality of light and dark, or we have duality of the good and the bad, whatever you want to call it. Your ego is there to defend you. So basically what you're going through is you're just going through self-defense. Like, I'm not going out here attacking you, right? You're not that type of person of where you're like, I'm going to go out and just be a bother to people. No. Yeah. Usually it's because somebody steps on your toes, somebody disrespects you, somebody does something disrespectful that you're just like, it triggers something in you which
Mm-hmm.
anger, the righteousness, because each emotion has a light and dark aspect, right? So anger's light aspect is it's causing an action. Anger gives you the fuel. If you ever notice anything, anger is the cause of change. Things get done when you're angry. So if you learn to channel that in like a positive way of using that energy boost to kind of tweak the way you do it, I think that would be more beneficial than knocking someone's brains in. But sometimes, you know, like Teresa's, Laurie said, everybody has a different walk of life. Maybe you were meant to do that. Maybe you're not. I'm not here to judge you. I'm just trying to give you options, and you pick what option you want.
Right.
But can I summarize my views on the D's?
Sure.
Okay.
You bet.
I'll roll it out.
Okay.
So
Cool.
we all started in the 70, right? We all came from there. And then once we came here, we start at the beginning, which is 3D, right? That's what comes easiest. That's what comes more natural. That's what's primal. That's our red chakra. That is where we take care of our safety, our food, and our survival, right?
Yeah.
That's why Brian was saying we have to. If you're in this reality and you're in this world, you have to make sure you have a car, you have a house, you have food, you have a job. Like these things are a necessity. What Nick was saying is correct too. This system of things, or this whatever you want to call matrix, whatever you want to say it, this has been tampered with in a way of where it's keeping certain souls stuck on a repeating loop because they're not learning their lessons, because they're not in a position that lets them learn. Because like you said in your quote in the beginning, they're avoiding it. And they're avoiding it is because everybody is exhausted. Like, you're exhausted working your 9 to 5. You're exhausted from doing the kids. You're exhausted from all these things. Like, you just want to vegetate and be reactive, not proactive. Proactive takes more energy. All of this stuff takes energy. It takes forethought. It takes time. And not a lot of people have time.
Right. You work a 40-hour work week. You have got the weekends. You're trying to prepare for the next week. When do you have time to do these kinds of things? And I think the whole COVID thing is actually what helped people stop and think. At least that's what it did for me. It gave me a chance to really reflect on myself and what was going on in the world. And if it wasn't for that, what's that?
It made me reflect on my values, because I was super scared. I was like, zombie apocalypse is coming, right? I would not leave my house. And then someone's asked me like, oh, but you work in the medical field. Like, shouldn't you feel like a call to go help your fellow person, right? And I'm like, it's not my fault they didn't brush their teeth. They should have brushed their teeth. You know what I mean? But if there was
work in the dental
out there, I work in the dental field.
Okay.
If there was an animal out there stuck in the gutters, then I'm like, okay, fine, I'll leave my house. But that showed me what I really valued, that having that reflection time. So, okay.
Can I add a side note?
What?
So this is kind of off topic, but I think it's really important because it has to do with the whole like breaking the system thing. And I feel like a lot of people should know about that. But like one of the things that the system likes to do is that it likes to put you in fear. And how does it do that? It makes certain topics with bad connotations, like the ego, for example. So many people are convinced that you need to kill your ego. So many people think the ego is a bad thing, et cetera, et cetera. I, being the Dalibor archetype, like to play devil's advocate and say that's completely false. Because like she says, the ego defends you. Well, what is one of the biggest things your individuality protects you from? Possession. You kill your ego, you're killing your voice. If you kill your voice, you're an open vessel. That's exactly what the demons want to happen. Just some food for thought. So.
Well, and ego has its place, and there is balance with the ego. You know when you can use the ego, when you don't need to use the ego. But if you allow ego, like for example, Lucky Stone says, no one pisses you off. Your reaction is your acts. Only you upset yourself. I totally agree with what Lucky said. Do I want to be triggered by this? We talked about this was episode 1, triggers. Do I want to allow someone to make me feel a certain way? And I've said this to people I know. I don't have that kind of power over you. You do. You're
Right.
the one that decides if you're pissed off or you're offended by something I said. I just don't go there anymore. I don't need to go there. I don't have that drive to go ahead.
4D thinking.
Yes.
That step is another awareness.
Right.
Your 3D thinking is like, nah, you stepped on my shoes. That's
Yeah.
disrespectful.
I'm not going to let you get away with that.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But your
Ain't got time for that.
4D level stops and is like, well, why did I get upset about you stepping on my shoes? I could wash them. Right.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't see it. Maybe they put on some ice. You know what I mean? 4D makes you conscious of the other person.
That's
Yes.
right.
4D makes you conscious of, hey, you know what? Maybe there's stuff outside of my being that I'm not aware of.
Mhm.
Maybe there's stuff like in my dreams.
You
Maybe
never know
there's-
what's going on in their life or why
Exactly.
they're reacting the way they do. So why allow that to come into your harmony or the place where you're existing from or you're coming from?
Yes.
Why do I need your caca? Why do I
Exactly.
need any of that? I don't want it, and I don't
No,
want to deal with
But that's when you make a conscious decision and not a
Exactly.
reactive decision. But you have to allow your brain to know what those values are. Am I
Mhm.
gonna just real quick, quick synopsis? We parked in, we went to Hannah's house and we parked in her apartment complex, and there was where visitors can park, but not all the visitors spots were snowed out, right? So we took a spot that was shoveled out. And then this guy came over and was like, who took my parking? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh crap, like maybe we should go move the car. And Nick's like, no, we're not moving the car. And in my head, I'm like, I don't want to die on that hill. You know what I mean? You have to pick and choose what's worth your energy and what's not your energy, because everything is an energy game.
Yeah, and in my perspective is, what can I do? Can I let an old man rant about a parking space being taken, or do I want to tread through the snow, park across the street, then have to tread back the snow again in like negative 10-degree weather? I'm not doing all that just because an old guy is upset that I have a parking spot that he doesn't.
He parked next to it, so it wasn't that big deal.
Oh, I wasn't even in it? Oh, I'm definitely not moving then. I didn't even know that part.
No, Nick, what you do is in the beginning, you say, and here's where you manifest. I know it sounds silly, but it's true. Theresa, you've seen this happen to me. I always, before I park somewhere, I will get the best possible parking spot I can
Every
get.
single time.
And what happens, Theresa? Every single time we pull in
Every
somewhere
single time, front door.
without fail.
Well,
Yeah.
we did get the good parking space. I think that's why he got mad. So,
Or you're younger and stronger. Why not allow him to have the parking space and you take the space
Mhm.
and allow him be the better. That's not the word I want to use. Be the higher vibration. Be the higher mind.
Mhm.
Okay, I got to walk a little farther, but that guy, I made his day. Here you go, sir.
Yeah.
You go ahead and take that spot. I'm not in a rush. I'm
So-
okay. I'm young and strong. It's all good. You take it.
So, Jasmine, you got up to what, 4 or 5? You have a couple more?
4 was becoming aware of things outside of yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then 5 was connecting to vibrations that everyone's at the same level. So now that you connect to the outside sources, now you and those outside sources are all vibrating at the same frequency of win-win unconditional love, right?
That's right. The win-win. Mhm.
And that vibration, I feel that's when I connect to spirit, and that's when I start channeling, like, talking to animals or talking to people or getting messages, because I'm working out of unconditional love. At that moment in time, your history, your past doesn't really mean anything to me, because it's in that moment. It's the now that I'm focused on. I'm not focused on anything else, which is true unconditional, because unconditional means unconditional. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you did in your past. Doesn't matter what your future is. Doesn't matter. Like, the message is the message, right?
It's just pure positive love. And
Exactly.
Why do people poo-poo that? I don't understand that. Why is that such a bad thing to be?
Because they think you're being a pushover. They think you're letting people walk all over
But
you.
far from
They
it.
think
Do
you
know
don't
how
have
much
any skin.
it
They
takes
think you don't
to
have
be
any
that way?
courage.
Just like with Nick's situation, it takes more effort and strength to be that positive person in someone.
I'd rather
someone's
fight
day.
than switch. Remember that?
Yeah, it's
commercial?
easier to go, pow, I'm taking
I'd rather
that
fight and
Yeah,
switch.
F off, man.
last thing, I wasn't even
See,
fighting. I
Grandpa?
was just letting him. My decision was let the old man vent. Just let him vent.
Yeah.
Don't even engage into that.
I mean, there's a million ways you could deal with that. I was just
It's
giving
because
you
I think it takes more, Laurie. I think it takes more courage, inner strength, wisdom, self-security, self-honor, self-respect,
self-worth,
and it takes more effort to switch, to allow yourself to change your perspective on things and do a pivot than it does to stand there and throw a grenade. Because it's easier to throw a bucket of mud. It's easier to throw a punch. It's just easier. Life is easier that way. And damn it, I should feel bad because I want to feel bad. Damn it.
Yeah.
That kind of.
Like Nick had a hard day too. You know what I mean? So I with him, I was just like, I'm gonna let things play out because that's my role as a manager. As a manager, you can't control everybody, right? If someone wants to do X, Y, and Z, if a doctor wants to do X, Y, and Z, you let things play out. And then you have to find solutions.
Let it evolve.
Let it evolve.
So that's what I did.
But there's so much programming. It's how you were raised. Maybe I know in my family, everybody got violent, or everybody got argumentative and tried to top one another in a conversation.
Italian.
The world that
competition.
The competition. Then Bofagula.
Yeah.
So it's like no matter where, it just depends on the perspective and what are you supposed to be learning right now? Why are you here? What is your goal? So sometimes, like Laurie was saying, it's purposeful because you're meant to experience the ramifications of those choices as to how you shift your energy. Go ahead, Nick. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, I'm glad you added that, because this is the whole reason why my perspective is the way it is. It's not that I'm throwing the first punch or throwing mud on someone. It's the fact that I'm not going to bend my back over someone I hardly know and be a people pleaser or a yes man. Every person I've observed that behaves like a yes man gets taken advantage of.
Right.
I'm not going to allow anyone to do that to me. Not even Jasmine. That's just my character, because I have too much self-respect.
But I've gotten to know you this past.
Where's the kindness in that? Where's the?
Well, I was just getting ready to say that
I'm
Nick
sorry, Theresa,
speaks that way.
Okay, go ahead.
But his actions show otherwise, because he's not going to allow that to happen, and he's being very passionate about that right now. But how he does it, I've come to learn, is he'll do what you do. You and Nick both have thought. You're both lions, energy, fire. But neither one of you goes out of your way to duke it out with somebody in a nasty way. What you do is what Johan was saying over and over in here, is you're setting appropriate boundaries out of love. I'm not going to let you treat me that way, but I also don't hate you. I want to show you what love really is, but I'm not going to allow you, just like you did with me a couple weeks ago. That's negative. I don't want to be around negativity. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not being negative. And you're like, yes, you are. It took me a while to see it from your perspective, that I was bringing something in that was harmful to you and to our relationship. So I had to learn a lesson from that. And the greatest love you could have shown me was to set that boundary with me, to let me know this is how things are going to play out in that particular situation. And so you can find ways to show, hey, I'm not dealing with this in a certain way. And Nick does it through examples. He does the same thing you do. He sets the boundaries, you know?
Yeah.
So
I did what Lucky said. Quiet is the most powerful response. That's what I did. I let the old man rant. It's not like I stole it from him. It was
I'm
going to Hannah's. Her body's exhausted. It's -10, so that just makes it worse. We went to Hannah's so he get a massage. I saw a parking spot open. I'm going to take it. I didn't know he wanted it. It was like 20 minutes after we parked. It's not like I purposely was like, yeah, this is mine, screw you. That's not what I did.
Are you going
saw
to think
parking
about
spot,
this
I
next
parked.
week
Like,
or 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now? Are you going to think about any of that? I'm just curious.
I think I am justified in every angle on this. Personally, I'm going to be very blunt about this. Yeah, he's an old man. They said he had a bad hip. Okay. No one told me that. There's other parking spots. My girlfriend's hurt. She needs healing. I just got done dealing with a homicide case. I'm not in a good mood. So, like, the world doesn't revolve around just you. I'm sorry. Even if you have a bad hip. That's the way I see it. So,
Yeah. How about 30 days from now? Is that going to matter?
well, let's put it this way.
6 months, a year,
The majority of
2
time,
years?
the majority of times with parking spots, I will actually
I'm just
on
playing
purpose,
with you.
like at grocery stores
You're
and stuff
doing
like
it
that. I
well.
will on purpose take the farthest one away
Yeah.
from the entrance.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm purposely like trying to screw it to old people. No, it just happened
Yeah.
that way.
Right. But it's a very good example, and I'm actually very happy that you mentioned that. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
sparked a
So-
good debate
6
or
days-
conversation.
Right.
Right. Like I said, it
Go
was
ahead.
example.
Yes,
But
go
6
ahead.
days, so 5D is connecting everything on the same vibration or the same frequency of like everybody wins, everything's love, everything's kumbaya, right? And that's how I connect to source.
Yes.
6D connection is listening to connecting with people, but now you're connecting with the elements and the periodic table and the actual building blocks of this reality.
Yep.
Once you learn how to connect with that, that's when you can actually start asking them to change their pitch or change their frequency. That's how you get water to wine. That's how you get,
Mm-hmm.
instant healing and regeneration, because you can actually start talking to the cells. And this is something I'm not going to say.
You
I don't know.
become the alchemist.
Someone in this room tells me that he can actually talk to cells in their body and reprogram them to do different things. That's tapping into 6D, because you're actually tapping into material building blocks and asking them to change.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I believe 6D. I've had past lives experiencing 6D, and I've had past lives experiencing 7D. I don't quite enjoy 7D, if I'm being frankly honest, because I do 7D when I'm exhausted and I don't want to do anything and I don't want to think, because
Yeah.
you're not thinking anymore.
That's the recharge.
It's collective thinking. You know what I mean? You're part of the big bubble of light, and you're just there with everybody, and you don't have to cook, you don't have to clean, you don't have to do nothing. You just vibing and pulsing, which brings me back to my second point. It's not like you reach one and it's that forever. Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna take, like, I'm not in 5D all the time. I'm not in 6D all the time. I'm not in 4D all the time. It takes moments. Like Nick in that moment was more in 3D because of everything that he was going through. His
Right.
capacity was not allowing
Right.
for a different frequency, because
Right.
that
He's
makes
had
sense.
enough. He had
A little
enough.
sense.
was not
Yeah.
enough. So he was
Understandable.
tapped out at 3D.
Yep.
So when we go into these other dimensions or these other frequencies or these other vibrations, they're not happening all at the same time. They happen in increments, or they happen in moments, or they happen
That's
in
right.
waves, or they
Very
happen
good
in
point.
weeks, and you can always go back to this, and you can always go forward. There
Yes.
is fluidity
You
in it.
move in and out of it. It's very
Mhm.
fluid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's
me-
by design, I think.
I think we did it to ourselves, and that's the reason why we came down here, is because
Uh-huh.
we get to choose, or we get to play around
Right.
where we are. Because imagine if fire got to play around where it does. Like, imagine you went to go fire and be like, okay, fire, it's time for you to burn. And it's like, no, I don't feel like burning today. What do you mean you don't feel like burning today?
Yeah.
Like,
That's what you do. That's your thing.
That's
That's your
right.
theme.
you're supposed to burn.
Burn.
So yeah, no, here in this reality, we have the freedom to choose which
Yes.
frequency or which vibration we vibrate at. And I wanted to ask, like, do we all know what vibration is? Do we all have an understanding? Like, when we say, oh, it's your vibration, oh, it's your frequency, what
Mhm.
does that mean to you? Because to me, I go back to science, right? And my most zen area was in saltwater. I loved being in, like, with a person that has, like, lots of thoughts, lots of things going on, always thinking about the next thing, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's hard for me to be in 3D because I'm constantly in my head.
Yeah.
I bump into things, and my spatial awareness isn't the greatest, but I'm
You
aware
lose
of
that
people.
focus.
Right. So when I was in the water, I got this visual of me, and my heartbeat was affecting the water chemistry around me.
And it
So
will.
what happened is that with the salt in the salt water from the ocean water, I could see the vibrations of every time I took a swipe in the water, I could see it. And I'm like, whoa, is this what it looks like outside of water, like in ether? And I was just like, this is so interesting, because then I realized that when I was talking to the fishes, I wasn't really talking to the fishes, obviously, right? I just felt like they understood me because I was broadcasting everything that I was feeling, and they could feel it and they can see it, right? So to me, vibration is our electricity or our heart pulse, which
Our
goes
rhythm. It's our natural rhythm.
our rhythm. Yes, that's what they mean, frequency. Because if you go into frequency into sound, everything's a wave, right?
Yes.
And the waves collide and pass through one another and join and bond.
And create
that's right,
sensations, which is completely interesting. It's like a whole
that's
other.
what Dalibor brought up last week.
I was just going to say that. That's exactly what he was talking about. More like a wave, and that how it
Because like, did you guys know that your heart muscle is one linear muscle that's folded into itself, into a mini vortex?
Yes.
So your heart is an actual vortex emitting its own electrical frequency. So what
the earth
frequency means is that it's that magnetism. Like, have you ever had your eyes closed and then you're just like, who's here next to me? That's someone entering your electromagnetic field. Or like if you're across the city and you're just like, who the hell is staring at me? That's because someone is zoning into those magnetic fields. Everybody is capable of this. It's just different awareness, different. It's kind of like learning to listen, but not listening with your physical ears, but listening with your spiritual ears, or listening with
the heart. It's really the heart. Yeah, this is the second.
We did a program on that. Was it last year? Where we actually showed the science behind the heart rhythm. The heart
what's it called? The rhodium something? What's it called? I have a tab open because I was studying it earlier.
Yeah, it's in our playlist. We did a whole program on it and showed the diagrams behind it, and
that the heart is really intelligence.
Yes.
Yeah. The vortex the heart makes is similar to the rhodium something. What's it called?
But what is that? Is that your guys' same definition of vibration or frequency? Is that what you guys? Because that's what I visualize in my head.
Yeah,
like that's what makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, and the earth magnetizes the body. That's how it starts the heartbeat. That's what happens when you're born. That's how it begins. Yeah, that magnetizing. Yep, energy.
It grounds you. It grounds that energy. For me, from what I'm getting from my guide right now, is he's saying like, like you're an energy out here, right? And then when you're in the womb, like you're not constantly in the womb. You go in the womb and out, in the womb and out. And then when you're being born, that first breath, when you start connecting to earth, that's what grounds the spirit here.
And the soul decides when they enter the body, whether you've gone through the actual birth process and the pain, or after the body comes out of the mother. Your soul chooses when it's going to come in, because it wants to experience either full birth or partial. It decides.
Yeah.
I got my words wrong. It's called the toroidal field.
Oh, toroidal field. That's
right.
Yes, we talked about that.
We talked about
that. Heart actually makes that.
Sorry, Nick. It's like 400 some shows, and it's hard.
Yeah. I know so much words get mixed up sometimes. So.
Yes.
It happens if I don't have notes in my face.
Yep. I gotcha. But Jasmine.
That same magnetic field your heart actually makes. That's the vortex energy that comes from it. It starts out like a vortex, but then it spreads into a sphere.
So, have you guys seen that meme of that frog that starts croaking in the middle of a creek, and then it starts to do like ripple patterns? I'll have to send it to you. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, fascinating. Yeah. I don't know, Grandpa Brian, what do you think about all this?
Fascinating discussion. One thing that I'm learning, and when I go to cross over, basically two things is how did I love?
Mm-hmm.
And the other is my presence on this planet. Did I make a difference in the world? And what I mean by that, not only with people that I'm friends with, but strangers. Did I have an impact at one meeting and us having a little conversation? Did I make an impact in that person's life?
You did. And you
and
do.
And I think that's what, and a positive impact, not a negative impact, but
Yes.
a positive impact on a person's life.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think if you accomplished that and lived in unconditional love through your life,
Mm-hmm.
then you basically, even though you're existing in a 3D world, you were actually consciously living in a 5D world because you were living in that unconditional love, and it was all about maybe not only just helping people, but interacting with people in a positive way.
Mm-hmm. That life review is going to reflect that back to you because you're going to get their perspective as well as yours, and you're going to feel it a whole lot more than you ever did on Earth. So just the fact that you're here, Brian, and you're being your true authentic self, yes, you are going to experience that. Yes, you are making a difference just by being who you are, and being the kind, loving person that you are is definitely reflective in the afterlife. And it's super, super important because the more good you do in the world, the better things will be in the afterlife. No offense. And it'll be good no matter what. Even if you're doing negative things or things aren't going quite right for you, you're still forgiven on every front. And the only one that judges you is yourself. It's really how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is how it works.
Yep. But you're doing a great job, Brian.
Oh, thank you.
It's all good. It's all good in the hood, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So, Jazz, this was back in October 13th of 2023. We discussed exploring our human toroidal field and the Merkaba. Your heart is an electromagnetic energy field. And it was about a vision and a dream that kicked it all off. And so this program is out there on our playlist, but it's also on our main video feed. And I'll send you the link, but you might be really interested in it because it touched on everything you were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
See, like I vibe with you guys without even knowing you guys.
Yeah, I mean, because you weren't a full-time regular on 2023.
Yeah, both of you started off in the chat.
I wasn't woke till like 3 years ago.
Well, you stepped into your own now, Jasmine.
Yeah. Like I didn't allow myself to learn about this stuff until I sat down and had like a coming of souls of like, okay, why am I attracted to the idea of a God? Why do I like the idea of religion? And then I realized that I like God and religion because God felt like it gave me purpose. Like there was more meaning to life than just shallowness, right?
Yeah.
And I liked the religion because I liked the community aspect of it. I'm like, okay, well, these things are positive things. I think these things are natural human traits that everybody wants. Everybody wants to be part of a community. Everybody wants to have more meaning in their life. So I didn't necessarily see that as bad. And I was like, okay, so then what drives me to be the type of person I am? And I'm like, well, like what Grandpa Brian said, I was like, well, I want to do good. I want to help animals and kids and, people where I can. Like, and then I was like, okay, so where is that coming from? It's kind of like playing 21 questions with yourself. So then I ended up finding out that like this stuff is not demonic like I was being told it was. This stuff was not hateful because we wouldn't even celebrate birthdays. But to me, I always liked birthdays because I'm like, I'm grateful that this person's here and this gives me a time to show that appreciation.
Yeah, to celebrate their life. Yeah.
You're here. I'm happy we got
you
to
made
share
another year.
Exactly. Like to me, it's a memorable marker. You know what I mean? Even if it's not super crazy, but at least like, hey, I'm glad because everybody gets busy. That's life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Life happens.
Yeah. Well, you are whole and part of God anyway. You are God, and that's hard for people with religion and those ideals of what God is, when really it truly is just a universal consciousness of love.
Yeah. From what I learned with the Rosicrucians, God is more so a title than a person, and there can be more than one.
It's a label.
Yeah,
it's just a label.
But not everyone's ready for that conversation yet.
Yes, I know that's a tough one for people to know that. Yeah,
God, source, universe, or whatever to me feels like a type of love, like a parental figure. Like I think the Rosicrucians were talking about it as like the eternal parent or something like that. And that's how I feel it. You know what I mean? Yep. It's not when I tune into God or when I tune into source, that's when all my logic goes out the window, because it's not a logical thing. It's a feeling, and emotions are not logical.
They're not emotions are emotions. Yeah,
exactly.
And emotional intelligence is something completely different.
That's why when the religion was telling me, oh, it's demonic for you to go to college, and I'm like, why? I'm learning about science. I'm learning about how beautiful everything was created, and you're going to tell me that it's wrong to learn that? I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Kind of sounds like control to me, right?
Right? You're going to tell me who I can talk to, who I can dress, what I can eat, what. I'm like, what?
How does that serve me?
Yeah.
How does that serve you? Oh, wait, I see how it serves you. Okay.
This isn't about God, is it?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And numbers.
Pass that collection plate now, will you?
So, no. So I feel like if anybody's watching, because I feel like someone out there is watching, and like you're curious about this, and we're not doing tarot cards, we're not doing none of the demonic stuff. We're just talking, right?
Yeah.
And
no harm in that.
Like if you really give yourself permission and you think about it and you talk to your heart and you talk to your God and you say, is this really against you, against what you stand for? And then if you realize that no, it's not. Self-discovery is not a sin. Learning about yourself. Sorry, my cat is noticing the intense emotional output that I have, and he constantly comes up to me when I do that, and he's just like, hey, Mom, are you okay? Like
picks up on your energy.
Yeah, because he only comes when I start, like when I hit like that threshold.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you give yourself the grace to listen to, I wouldn't say like following your heart, because I know the Bible says that if you follow your heart, you're dumb, because the heart makes you do a lot of questionable things.
Are you though? Because it has been determined and confirmed that the heart actually has similar cells that the brain has. What are they called? You're the smart one.
I tuned out.
Oh, that the heart actually has brain cells.
No, the heart is stronger than your brain. You think you allow that, you give your brain consciousness and that you're allowing your brain to do, but really the heart has a stronger impulse on your body than your brain ever will.
I think the brain is the CPU and the heart is the processor.
Yes, that's a good way of doing it.
Yeah. Yep.
But
wow,
anyway,
you guys.
If you allow it and you just, go to what makes you feel comfortable. Because this whole thing, what I learned in my personal journey, magic or metaphysical or anything in this world is all self-discovery and self-evolution. It's all about learning about your shadow self, right? The things that you don't want to see, like the quote that we started with.
Yes.
It's all about learning your triggers. It's all about learning what you want to stand for, what you value, what your boundaries are. That's all this is. That's all magic is. Once you learn about who you are and what you stand for, then you start building your boundaries. Then you start playing any tool, any magic candle, any tarot cards. All of those things are just tools to help you discover what vibration you're at. That's it. Okay. It's all directing. It's kind of like it's what gives, what is it? Velocity is direction and force, right? So energy, magic is just velocity in tuning in all of those tools to your vibration. That's all it is. you can use it for good or bad, just the same way as you can cook for good or bad.
Yeah. I got some science to back up the heart thing she was talking about, because you know, people that are more logical, they're gonna be like, you're gonna think with your feelings, you're stupid. No, that's actually not how the heart is. Sorry,
that was me.
Yeah, that's not actually how the heart works. So this was discovered in the 90s. Yes, the heart contains an intrinsic cardiac nervous system, often called little brain. And it's consisting of roughly 40,000 neurons similar to those in the brain. This network was discovered in the 1990s and allows the heart to function independently, regulate its own rhythm, and even communicate with the brain. There's one other organ that also does, and that's your gut.
Yeah, and that's your intuition. The heart is the intuition. That's when you know something feels right or it feels off. That's where
so it's not
the brain is the logical part of everything. But if you feel with the heart, that tells you everything.
So if anyone calls you stupid or airheady for following your heart, they're not educated.
Well, and they're not following their own heart, are they? They're not connected to that part of that organ is suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've ever wondered why your heart and brain isn't agreeing, well, now you know. They can both think independently.
Let's see.
So you gotta figure out how to get them on
my brain or my heart today.
Yeah.
Is that guy taking my spot? Harder brain.
Yeah, that's when I think when Nick said that you have to get them to align, that's when you start going into 4D.
Yes. Yeah.
Once you can get your heart, mind, and soul on the same page, that's when you start living unapologetically.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you something how strong this heart connection is and the brain connection.
Yeah. Johan brought up a good point too, because she brought up the gut. The gut acts the same way. It acts like a brain.
Yes. Another part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I found out when I was sick, really sick. I was doing everything with my brain to try to heal myself. You know, the medicine, the soup, you know, bundling up worms, getting plenty of rest, taking all this medication, you know, and this stuff. And one day I just said, you know what? We did this show a couple of years ago about the Toreador field. And we also talked about the heart being the intelligence. Okay. So I started talking to my own heart. And I said, look, you take over, you go tell the brain what to do to heal my body. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to take another pill, another tablet. I'm not going to do any of this stuff. I'm just going to rely on you, your connection with the all that is. And you're the mastermind. You're the heart. You're the operator. You're the orchestra leader. You go tell the brain what it needs to do to talk to my organs to get me to feel better, because I am really miserable. And as soon as I had that conversation with my own heart, I could feel the heart moving, beating at a completely different rhythm. And somehow it reconciled with my neural pathways. And within about 4 hours, I felt completely transformed. And by the next morning, I was a new person.
Yeah.
I just let my brain go.
So you led with the heart instead of the brain.
I led with the heart instead of the brain. I let the heart manage the process.
Yeah.
And it worked. I was healed. And it was a terrible, terrible cold that it could have taken. I didn't even have to finish the medication.
Yeah. No. The fact that these areas have neurons, there's a bunch of dings in my head when I think about this, but like, you know, all the neurotoxins that we're always exposed to, it's no wonder why certain organs start failing. They can't communicate with the rest of the body because they've been dumbed down or poisoned. So if it doesn't have its neurons, it don't got its communication. When it doesn't have its communication, it's going to malfunction. And that's when you have like digestive problems or heart problems or memory problems, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So
the brain tells the body,
the
body picks up on a cellular level. And if you're going to experience any kind of pain or it's all because of there's so much involved with anger, resentment, that kind of stuff. When you hold that energy, it tells the cells, oh, this is what we need to do. Yeah. And then it gives you more of that. That's a thing. That really does happen. So,
Yep.
So, given what we're all talking about right now, what dimension are we vibrating in right now?
I am in and out of 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I would say 5.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys, we're hour and a half into the show, and it's time to do some final thoughts. Any final thoughts there? How about you, Grandpa Brian? Would you like final thoughts?
Just know that you're going to fluctuate from 3D to 5D, and you're just not going to stay inconsistent one or the other, unless you just want to be stuck in the 3D, then that's where you're going to stay. But if you raise your consciousness higher, you're going to fluctuate between them all. Even Jesus did. There was times he was down in the 3D.
Oh, heck yeah.
We're all going to fluctuate.
Oh.
So don't get frustrated if you feel like you're stuck in the 3D. And
don't be so hard on yourself.
Right. If you don't feel like you're progressing, just being here tonight shows that you are progressing. So just don't feel like you're stuck.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Good advice. Jasmine, Nick, final thoughts?
The wisest men in history.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I'm sorry, I'm passionate right now. The wisest men in history have always said that. All right. I'll give you a second.
All righty then. I like it.
The wisest men in history have always acknowledged that they know nothing. Okay. So what that really means is that even though they are knowledgeable in a lot of things, they understand that their perspective is limited. That what they understand and works for them, they realize it might not work. In fact, they would even bet that it wouldn't work for literally everyone else. So when you navigate through this life, be open-minded, figure out what works for you, and figure out how you can apply that to the collective.
Yeah.
That's how you share your gift.
That's
like
right.
That. Yeah.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Very good. Jazzy, what you got? Final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Yes.
It's never meant to be a war between good or bad. It's supposed to be a duality. So you need both. If you're in this world, Adam made of the tree. If you believe that story, Adam made of the tree of the good and bad. So therefore, this reality has been forever altered. If you believe in the story of Lilith, doesn't matter. The point is, this reality is light and dark.
That's right.
It's good and bad. Too much light, you get killing in the name of God. Too much dark, you get Darth Vader killing children. Accommodation, okay?
Luke, I am your father.
Constantly flowing, okay?
Yes.
Beautiful way of putting it.
I love that.
That being said, it is not a battle between your mind, heart, or soul. It's not a fight. It's not which one do you choose, light thinking or feeling. No, it's not a versus game, okay?
No.
It's which one helps you now and later. It's kind of like choosing what do you want to eat.
What do you need right now? What's on the menu tonight?
Yeah.
Exactly. What's on the menu tonight? Are you going to have a steak or are you going to have a salad?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
literally how it is. They
Usually
both
steak with my
have,
salad.
if you want to have steak and salad, that's great.
Yeah.
You want to have a balanced meal?
I had too much fiber. I need more protein.
Yeah. doesn't
Add
matter.
egg.
But the point is that all your facets, okay, mind, body, and soul, and your emotions, they're all supposed to be connecting and communicating
In
okay? They're all supposed
synchronicity.
to have
Synchronicity.
purpose. Exactly. So one time it might be better to listen to your head. If you're saying, "Oh, I'm going to drink another beer," it's going to be the 12th case I had. Maybe brain is like, whoa, let's or your gut. I'm taking that back. Your gut's probably like, that's enough. So sometimes
Then your bladder's not happy either.
right. So the goal should be, all right, brain, let's hear your points. Why do you think this? Well, no, it's a waste of money. It's a waste of blah, blah, whatever it is, right? Okay,
Yeah.
heart, why do you want it? Blah, 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 right? You have to listen to all aspects of yourself. And like what Theresa was saying was about the body. If you ignore one of those aspects, it's going to go somewhere in your body. Like me, I hold my tension and my anger in my shoulders. So I'll start going like this.
Yeah.
There is a body diagram out there that shows that if you're having pain in a certain body part, it's because of an emotional need that's not being met. So I highly recommend people look into that, because that showed too much. That showed me way too much that I didn't want to know.
Yeah.
My shadow self, my elbow. Yeah. Okay, I thought it was tennis elbow. I thought it was normal. It's common for desk work people. Blah 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 blah. No, it comes from a need of not being understood. So you constantly overwork to be valued. And I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, damn. It called me out.
And now you see why I was so adamant about the parking spot.
Yes.
You see her, she's way too beautiful to turn into Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Anyway, my last thought is everything is a balance, okay? Balance your mind, body, and soul. Once you can finally listen to what they all bring to the table and what they're all trying to help you with, because each one is trying to help you with something, you'll be in a way better. I want to say the word enlightenment, but the reason why I say enlightenment is because you're not going to feel pressure from one way or another. I feel like we get a lot of anxiety or frustration or all of these things is because one emotion is being ignored. And it's like, listen, I'm trying to tell you something. And then your brain's like, I'm trying to tell you something. And it's like, everybody's trying to fight for your attention. And you're so exhausted from working your 9 to 5. That's why it feels like you're forgetting something, or it feels like you're not getting to something, or it feels like you're missing it. You know what I mean? Have a little time for yourself to get to know yourself and figure out what the message is. I'm so sorry. This was way longer than I wanted it to be.
It's all good. It's all good. I love what
we
you're
haven't
saying.
heard from you for a couple.
Yeah.
This is great.
It's all good.
I'm so happy to see you tonight. Yeah.
Like, oh, look. Sorry, my guys are like, look at what you're wearing. You're white and dark. And I was like,
fire and water.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of the yin and yang, you know what I found peculiar and funny? You remember how I told you our car got hit in the back bumper?
Yes.
Well, the new bumper is black, and the car has always been named Yin. So now it literally looks like that yin shape with the black dot.
Yeah, now it has...
the bumper's the black dot.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So cool.
The car's just embracing its name, I guess.
Yeah.
I named her Yin Anastasia. That's my car's name.
I love that.
Oh, very cool.
I love my car too. I totally get that. I hug my car. I kiss it. I do. I kiss the front of it. I tell how much I love it.
Hey,
how beautiful it is.
We named my scooter. Spirit One. Was Kindred Spirit.
Kindred Spirit. Yeah.
Scooter One.
It works. I'm telling you, my ex completely thought I was a witch because I got mad at him, and I'm like, screw your car, and it died. And he's like, what did you do?
Hey.
And I was like, I don't know. I popped the hood and I just touched it, and it went broom. And he's like,
you just showed it a little love. You just gave it a little love. Yep. You can love anything. Yep. And there's nothing wrong in that.
It's a frequency. It's electricity.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Jazz. Sure was nice having you on tonight. Thanks for being with us. You too, Nick. We love you too. And of course, Grandpa Brian.
And
Theresa, any final thoughts for you as well? Before we say goodnight?
I think everybody did such a great job. I don't want to take up too much time, but I do want to say this. And when looking at these different vibration energy levels, try not to see that as a linear process. It's a soul growth, and one day you might be a little bit heavier on the 4D, than you are on the 6D. But understand that as humans, because we're so small compared to the universe, and we're trying to bring so much of that spirit in, as Laurie was saying, we're jam packing it into a little body, It's really difficult. It's not meant to be to sustain any one energy for a permanent period of time until you've moved on and transitioned from the earthly material realm into a different, altogether different frequency without a physical body, which hinders you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be free to explore and remain in any one dimension for any long period of time. Right now, this is your opportunity to work on yourself, to work your way back to a full understanding. Because let me tell you, the spirits we've helped cross over lately have come back and said, wow,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
So every little bit you can do here to be the best version of yourself that you can be.
That was my final thoughts. You just said it.
Well, then you go ahead and finish, because we're one and the same.
No, it's all good. Just
our
be the best
knowing.
version of you can be, and be kind and loving as much as you possibly can. And, just try to bring some joy into someone else's life.
Right.
And if you're around negative people, quietly excuse yourself and just get out of that space if you can. But just be the best you can be, and live your best life, because you got eternity to figure it out. So the sooner you do, the easier it's going to be for you, here and there, no matter where you are. So hope you guys all enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Their comments are saying so, and we enjoyed you too. So thank you for giving us that feedback, and we're
thanks for spending some time with us too. We really appreciate it. We do this out of the kindness of our heart. We're not doing this to make a buck or anything like that. We're just sharing our knowledge. We're here because we want to be. Right, Brian?
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week. Watch for the trailer, you guys. Check out the trailer. I do it the day or two before the live show so that you have some idea what we're talking about. So check that out. If you like what you saw tonight, give us a thumbs up. That would be great. The algorithms love to eat. So let's eat them. And if you haven't made a comment, please comment on the video. It's all good. But no matter what, we're going to be here next week anyway. So get used to it. All right. Peace,
stay
love,
safe,
and joy.
stay warm, stay warm out there. Stay safe and use your noggin.
Yes.
Hey, and catch me on with Lucky Stone tomorrow night.
Oh, good. You're going to be on Lucky Stone. We'll catch that.
Robert's
you guys have a wonderful
night.
show.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Anything else, Jazz? All right.
I was pointing to Uncle Brian.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right, you guys. Peace, love. And we'll see you next week.
Bye everybody.